Ladies and gentlemen, you are now locked into DAR Sports and Media, your number one stop for everything sports and media. The NBA is back, so we are back. We bringing the Hoops Hour back. Of course, you got myself, True, here. I got my brother Tay. I got Lee Harvey here. We are here to talk the NBA. It's been a long off season, but we finally back tomorrow. Well, by the time you hear this today, the Knicks and the Celtics, the Timberwolves and the Lakers. I'm excited about one of these games because I don't necessarily think both of these games are going to be super competitive, but that's just my take on it. Tay, I'm gonna start with you, man. I'm gonna start with you. How you feeling about this first day of games? We back. How you feeling?
I like it. I like it. I like 3 out of the 4 teams on here. I honestly don't know why we continuously keep putting the Lakers on here. Like this could have been, like you know what I mean. Like yeah, it's the Lakers, but this could have been Denver, Dallas, somebody. I mean, it just has to be the Lakers, and they're home. They get a opening night game every year. I'm sick of it. This better be the last year. I'm not watching. Like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with the Lakers. But they picked a good matchup for them. I hope they beat them by 40. I'm getting tired of them getting these opening night games. Don't be great. Didn't they lose in the first round?
Yeah.
Like, stop putting them on opening night, bro. Stop. I don't know why they keep doing this, but all right, back to business. So, Boston and York, that was a great. That's a great first game. That's how you open up the season. You know, reigning champ Boston Celtics brought everybody back. You know, they out trying to defend the title, and they picked up or they're playing the Knicks. You know, the Knicks kind of flipped their roster around just over the past couple of months, like Adam and Mikal Bridges, you know, trading away quickly, and RJ for OG. Then Hartenstein left. We trade Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle for Karl Anthony Towns. So the roster is completely different from last year. I mean, it's you still got Brunson and whatnot, Josh Hart, but it's a new team. You know, it's a new team. You see the trajectory the Knicks are going. They're trying to bulk up on role players, you know, defenders, stuff like that. You know, give better spacing for Jalen Brunson, getting Karl Anthony Towns. But I got the Knicks spoiling Boston's ring ceremony. Like that would be perfect. I'm sure the Knicks want to do that too. We got to see it. I need them to lose on ring ceremony. Boston's still gonna be a great team, but they're gonna have to lose. They're gonna have to lose on Tuesday. And in the second game, like I said, they don't deserve it. They picked the worst game possible after. Like I mean, take the Lakers out. I'll watch Minnesota and Pistons over. You know, but
goddamn.
Yeah, I got the Timberwolves. I need the Timberwolves to win. It's not even just like I hope so. I need them to win. I need them to stop putting the Lakers on opening night. It's over. But yeah, like again, Minnesota too. Same thing. Ross is a little different. You know, they got Dante DiVincenzo. They got Julius Randle. They traded away Cat to the Knicks, like I said a few minutes ago. They traded for Rob Dillingham after the Spurs drafted, or something like that. I think they traded for the pick. It was something like that. Rob Dillingham is a Timberwolf. So again, you know, roster a little different. Who knows? Nas Reed takes a jump this season, but yeah, I just think the Timberwolves they're gonna be good again this year, and I don't think the Lakers don't stand a chance. So yeah, I got the Timberwolves.
Real quick. I agree with you on the Timberwolves and Lakers. I think we all need. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think most of us need the Lakers to get washed, get cooked, all of that. Dante DiVincenzo, he gonna hit about 5 or 6 threes, because nobody's gonna be guarding him. Quick question, Tay, before we jump to Lee, 10-day contract, Harvey over there. Quick question is: do you think Bronny James sees the floor at any point tomorrow?
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's why they're playing. That's the whole point. Yeah, he gonna play.
Yeah. Okay.
He'll
You
get,
think you think he gonna get a lot of garbage time garbage time minutes
yeah,
when
I
them
think
niggas
he'll
get
go in
blown
the
up?
second quarter. It'll
Second
be
quarter.
in 40 minutes. He'll go in the second quarter. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, Lee, what you got, man? How you feeling about these two games?
I feel good about both of them, honestly. Um, uh, I have Boston winning the first game because that, like what Tay just mentioned, that's a lot of roster turnover uh, in a couple of months. Like that was a team that we all wanted to see just because of the Nova connection. But now that's been broken up, and uh, but at least they have at least the Knicks now have a big that can shoot because they didn't have that last season. Um, but I think it's going to take Cat about 3 weeks just to get the chemistry down with the Knicks, and he'll be fine going forward. Um, Minnesota Lakers. I have Minnesota winning, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout like y'all think. um, I think it's going to be one of those games where like the Lakers try to keep it close, but then Minnesota will pull away. Uh, if Bronny does get any meaningful time, it's when Lakers going to get blown out. And I do expect a big night from Anthony just to send an early MVP statement.
Now I gotta agree with you there on Anthony. Now you say Anthony. I'm assuming you mean Anthony Edwards and not Anthony
Yes.
Davis. So let me ask you a
No.
question. Quick, in regards to that, what do you see Anthony Davis's path this season? Because the whole talk around the Lakers has been LeBron and Bronny playing together, which is obvious. But Anthony Davis is almost kind of flying under the radar a little bit with the storyline heading into the season. There's a brand new coach with the Lakers, JJ Redick. They got a new staff. I mean, they didn't really make a lot of roster changes, but they do have some players that are coming back that could have a chip on their shoulder because last season didn't go as well. Do you think there's any motivation maybe for Anthony Davis to kind of get the attention off of the whole Bronny thing and put it on him having another Defensive Player of the Year type season, or do you think that noise might affect the team going into this year?
I hope the noise don't affect the team. Otherwise, they might be looking at another uh, playing season. Um, uh, I do think I do see Anthony Davis having a big year. I don't know if y'all noticed that preseason game against the Suns. He made like 4 threes in the first quarter, and the past couple of years he wasn't shooting threes like that, and that's how he took his game to another level. Even if it was in the bubble, he took it to another level by making that jump shot, making those threes. And if he can get back to that, we're going to see a huge AD season.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there. Let me ask you real quick, Tay. AD this season, what you see his ceiling for this season being?
First team on defense, like he's been one of the best defenders year after year after year. He just can't win defensive player of the year, but defense will be there. Yeah, I think he will be shooting a little bit more. I think that's going to be JJ Redick's kind of scheme gameplay and getting more people to shoot the ball. So yeah, I think 80 will be good. Hopefully he stays healthy. I think he could play 60 games. He's been pretty healthy. He can't call him street clothes like he once could. So yeah, I got 80 having a good season. Like I'm not worried about 80.
Okay. Now I gotta agree with you, Tay, on the first game of the night, the Knicks and Celtics. Obviously, I want nothing good to happen for the Celtics, so I'm gonna always go against whoever. I mean, they could be playing the Heat, the Nets, the Hawks, the Raptors, the Cavs. I'm gonna just go with whoever they playing against. So, but the Knicks, man, like I said, I don't. I was worried a little bit when the Knicks made all their trades. Made all their trades a little bit because I was wondering about the big situation, and then they add Cat, and you got the best shooting big in the league. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting. I got the Knicks winning. We got my brother Apollo in here right now. Apollo, you want to jump in and talk about these first two games, brother?
Oh yeah. First of all, peace, brother. How y'all doing?
Going good.
Good.
We are good. How are
So
you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I had to get my little man to sleep. Wasn't feeling well.
Okay.
Anyway, um, yeah. So the first game, the Knicks and the Celtics. So I mean, I guess that would be a good tip off for the league. I mean, you got the reigning champs against a team that many were saying if they were fully healthy, maybe they would have taken the Celtics to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was the hypothetical. So I mean, I guess that's somewhat of a dream matchup. I personally, I don't know. I think maybe the Knicks will probably steal that game, and I say that because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Porzingis is going to be available. So I mean, I think with that you're relying on Al Horford
Right.
and you're relying on what was it? The young guy that got Nima, and like another guy like that's really not all that. But I mean, you got to rely on. Oh yeah, Xavier Tillman. That's what it is. And you got to rely on them basically for front court minutes to kind of supplant KP maybe not being there. I mean, I think Jason Tatum and Brown. I think they had an excellent summer. I mean, the Team USA thing aside for Tatum, not really get that much burn like that, but I think they had a pretty good summer. They were celebrating. They were all over, strutting their stuff all over the internet and everything like that. So I think they'll come back, strong. They still got basically the same team from last year. So I mean, I just think that by being open at night, they'll probably come out just a tad bit lackluster because I think New York wants to make a statement, especially with getting Cat, um, which I think was a good trade for both sides. I know we'll touch into that another time, but I think by him being the best perimeter shooting big man in the league, um, I mean it adds more floor spacing for them and more offense, which they desperately needed. So, but I just think that they'll take that game, at least open tonight. As far as the Lakers and the Wolves, I am heavy on the Wolves this year. The Lakers, I mean, they did make some good additions with Dalton Connect. I think he would be a welcome addition, at least on the scoring tip. He's a little streaky, but he's a rookie. I mean, most of them are streaky, but he does have the talent. He can make plays. He can create his own shot, and that's something that the Lakers desperately needed, and they still need more of that. And I don't think that they have enough when it's all said and done. I still think they're a little thin, because you got a lot of guys that might be out right now, especially in the front court with Christian Wood and all those guys maybe being injured, stuff like that. I think Vanderbilt is the closest out of all those guys to coming back and actually playing. I mean, that'll be good for them defensively, I guess. Um, and but I don't think they'll be matching the Wolves. I think it's too much right now. I think they're very deep at every position. Um, and even with the young bucks that they've acquired that are still learning how to play and still learning how to fit, within a system, I believe that they have the will, at least, just like Ant, who is the leader of the team, the franchise leader. He will set them straight. You know what I mean? And I think they're gonna make a show against the Lakers. Bronny and all. We might see Bronny and LeBron on the court for 5 minutes. I mean, hey, but yeah, I don't think it'll be enough for the win.
Well, that's opening night. Knicks and Celtics, Timberwolves and Lakers. But this is the opening week. Got a lot of marquee matchups, a lot of big matchups. But before I get into that, Wednesday is the kind of, to me, the official kickoff because you got 10 games on the slate. You got, the Warriors, Blazers, Grizzlies, Jazz, Bulls, Pelicans, Hornets and Rockets, Cavaliers, Raptors, Nets, Hawks, the Magic, and the Heat, which I think is actually going to be a game to watch out for. The Pacers and Pistons, which also could be a game to watch out for. But the two, I believe, and I could be wrong, the two televised games are the Bucks and 76ers and the Suns and the Clippers. Now, the Suns and the Clippers games, I'm pretty sure they made that a televised game with the idea being that Kawhi Leonard was going to be playing. I think a lot of us expected that when Kawhi Leonard sat out for Team USA that he would likely be playing. But as we have all know, Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely, basically, with his injury, which it seems like this has been a reoccurring thing for a while. So I want to ask you, Tay, what do you think about this Kawhi situation with the Clippers? Like, do you think it's time to because they didn't want to give Paul George the max, but they did give Kawhi a pretty sizable extension. And now Kawhi, we don't know when he's taking the floor. So what do you think about the Clippers? And do you think they have a chance at all against the Suns on Wednesday?
I'll start off with Kawhi. Just an unfortunate player. Like he just can't stay healthy. Like not everyone's blessed with great health. I'm sure he's trying, training and whatnot. I'm sure he's trying to stay healthy, but he just can't. He just can't do it. And it's unfortunate because he's a great player when he's healthy. Like he's top 10 when he's healthy. Like we've seen him at his best, and he's better than a lot of players now. So just unfortunate, there's really nothing you can do about it. Just like when Kawhi's not there, you just like, oh, team sucks. Like everything runs through him. Like he's proved that on every team he's been to, and I don't know. He just unfortunate. Like we always say, we talk about the Clippers. If they have Kawhi, so we know what Kawhi brings to the table. But I mean, he hasn't been healthy in years, so you gotta count the Clippers out. And with them not playing, they have a slight chance. Like the Suns could blow the game. Like I can see that. I can see James Harden getting 40 something. Because I think James Harden is gonna take on that aggressive role again. Like we'll see some old James. I don't think he'll be as good, but he'll be as aggressive. Like he'll take a lot of shots again. He'll probably put up like 8 or 9 threes a game like he used to. So yeah, I can see that. I can see James Harden doing something like that. He's one of the players that's capable of, beating a team like that with his co-star out. So yeah, there's a chance, but I do have the Suns winning that one. Just because they're just a better team. And whatnot. And Clippers are just too injured, or it's only one person, but that's a lot when you think about it. So, yeah, I would go with the Suns for that game.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Suns. Lee, real quick, Lee, what's your take on Kawhi? I guess, and do the Clippers have a shot against this and Suns? And yeah, do you agree with Tay about James Harden kind of trying to go back to that Houston form and putting up 10 threes a game and all that?
I mean, yeah, but just Harden, Kawhi. I mean, they're all getting older, and I don't know. Like Harden can do it. He can take a team, carry a team on his back. But how long has that been since that's happened? Like 3-4 years at least. Um, I do not see them having much of a chance against the Suns. They like Phoenix. They're gonna try and make sure. they're gonna make sure what happened in the first year, last year, don't happen again. They said it was still a lot of chemistry issues with those three All Stars, and I think Phoenix will start this season off with a 15, maybe 20-point win against the Clippers. And I don't know. It's going to be a rough year for LA. They lost Kawhi for I don't know how long. They lost Paul George in the offseason. I think it's going to be rough unless Harden can revert back to his MVP form.
Apollo, what you think, bro? What do you think about this Clippers situation in the Suns and Clippers game?
The Suns are another team that I'm a little excited about actually, with the young talent that they acquired. Ryan Dunn, who came out in this class as heralded as the best defensive player, he has now shown everyone that he can shoot the three as well. It just wasn't what he was asked to do in Virginia. Now you can make him, you can make him a decoy, out there on the wing, but he's a good 3-and-D player. And what else they got? Of course, Beal, KD, and Devin Booker with another year with a full training camp. I think that's going to benefit their core. These guys seem eager, like they want to play together and they want to succeed together. So, that's a lot right there. The players' attitudes. So I think they, somewhat of a chip on their shoulder. Their roster is a little more balanced now because they got Monte Morris and Tyus Jones that can handle the point guard side. They can handle the rock, to take that responsibility that Booker and Beal were sharing, even though they can do it. Well, Booker can do it a little better, but it's not something that you want from them. You want them to focus on strictly offense, taking dudes to the hole, and putting up shots, getting buckets. So I think that's good. And then they with the Clippers, I mean, look, Kawhi Leonard, I'm calling for him to retire. I mean, he's made enough money. He is cemented. I mean, as far as basketball annals, I mean, look what he's accomplished, and so it's like, it's not taking nothing away from him. It's just the fact that your body is telling you maybe enough is enough, and it's just a human thing. What I mean? I know it's hard for players, hard for men in general with egos, and you make success doing one thing and doing it in a, on the high level. I understand that, but come on, man. I mean, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're kind of cash strapping your team. This isn't like the NFL where these teams will, they won't double down and they'll just cut you. They'll eat the cost, sunken cost fallacy or whatever. But in the NBA, it's a little more tougher to do that. So, I just feel that, you're kind of hurting your team by not being available. Because, I mean, look at who they got. Okay, besides James Harden, Amir Coffey. I mean, these guys are serviceable. I'm not calling them bums, but just like James Harden's going to have to go back to, I guess, his old ways in Houston, but he's not that guy anymore. I think we all can say that. So it's going to be a little tough. Terrence Mann's going to have to step up. I mean, I believe he can, but the kid, the second year kid, they got Kobe Brown. He has some nice size, bigger, I guess, better size than any other guard they got on that roster. So maybe he'll break through and give another option, another score option. But we'll see. But with this game in particular, I think the Suns are going to make quick work of them guys easily.
Well, for the Clippers, they got a new stadium. They got to try to pack people in there as best as possible. So hopefully for them, James Harden can find some of that old magic he had in Houston and bring it to Los Angeles. Another situation with an injury, Chris Middleton is supposed to be out as well for the first game of the season for the Milwaukee Bucks. It is year 2 of this Dame and Giannis experiment. Before I get into whether or not that's going to be successful this year, I want to talk about that first game. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. New look 76ers. They have playoff P. Paul George has joined the fray in Philly next to Joel Embiid. Because it's October and not April or May, I have high hopes for the early success of this 76ers team if they can stay healthy. But anytime you put Paul George and Joel Embiid together on a team, don't really expect them to have much playoff success. But opening night, Tay, who you got in this Bucks 76ers game? Chris Middleton's out. Who you got?
I got the Bucks. Yeah, I think I got the Bucks. The 76ers, I think the 76ers are going to be a good team, but I just think the Bucks are better. Like, I like Giannis. I like his matchup in this one, and I think Dame is going to have one of them games. They're pretty even, though. I'll say that. Like, it's definitely going to be a good game to watch. Like, I don't see a blowout to either side. I see it's going to be close. It's going to be down to the wire. Like, this game is going to be like, oh, yeah, basketball is back. Like, I missed it, you know. I think this is going to be one of those games. So, yeah, I will go with the Bucks. Got the Bucks by, like, 5. You know, they might win, you know, towards the end, you know, then they start playing the foul game. And then I got them by, like, 5. You know, Giannis and Dame will have a big game. They'll do it without Middleton. So, yeah, I think they'll be all right.
Lee, who you got, man? Bucks, 76ers.
I agree with Tay. I'd take the Bucks too, because usually that's where Giannis plays his best. And we haven't seen Giannis play since. Well, we've seen Giannis play in the Olympics, but we haven't seen him play on the NBA stage in quite a while. And I think if I know his mentality, I know he's been looking forward to this game for a while now. We probably can't wait to remind a few folks that he's still when healthy can be a top 3 to 4 player in the NBA.
Okay. Apollo, man, who you got? Bucks, 76ers. Who you think's taking that first game?
I agree. It might be a little close, but I'm gonna give the 76ers the edge. I like them as a slightly better roster overall. Even though Milwaukee did good with their cash situation, they were able to get 3 good veterans. Man, what they got? Gary Trent Jr., DeLon Wright, Taurean Prince. So these are good, cheap guys that can, bolster the depth. And right now, especially during this offseason, there's been a lot of hype about Giannis and the Bucks having a lot of pressure on them, especially after how last year went for them. There was a lot of drama, and a lot of stuff that you're not really used to associating with Giannis, because you're just used to him, being a happy-go-lucky guy off the court with that personality, but still a warrior, and laser focused when it comes to his play and season. And to be involved in, coaching fires and hires and things like that, when a lot of things that come with being the best player or one of the top players, and he is certainly still a top 3 player in the world. It's a lot of pressure. Chris Middleton, like you just reported, that he won't be available, right? So that leaves like either like Tarian Prince or maybe Chris Livingston or somebody taking that spot. And I don't think Doc is going to want to trust those guys, especially in a year where it's like Doc is always coaching for his job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
Always.
his reputation, at least, he's always coaching for, it seems like. So this is a year that they're definitely going to take serious as a franchise. They don't want to lose Giannis potentially, because you could turn him off. You know what I mean? And you don't want that. So they're having a real serious season, and they need. Unfortunately, they're going to have to rely on some of those young guys who aren't ready yet. So with that, as opposed to Philly, who Maxey has arrived. Tyrese Maxey has arrived. Embiid, for all his inadequacies, he is still one of the best players in the game, and his unique skill set is always going to, be the nucleus. And I like the fact that I think Philly, they might have maybe the best depth as far as centers, because they got Drummond back on the team and stuff too. And I think that size, like, you can't underestimate size and the ability to rebound. The more possessions you have, the higher the chance you have of scoring the basketball on the possession. Basketball is very simple. So when you got that bolstered up, that's going to benefit. And I think with Paul George, that's a more reliable scorer, all around more reliable player than Tobias Harris by far. So that's just nothing but an upgrade. And yeah, I think they'll take this game.
I think I'm gonna rock with the 76ers on this one. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's in Philly. So I believe with it being in Philly, I'll give the slight edge to the home team. The rest of this week, there's a lot of marquee matchups. I believe Thursday we're looking at the Spurs and the Mavericks. Obviously, the Spurs bring Wemby back. They got Chris Paul now, playing at the point guard. Obviously, the Mavericks brought in a couple improvements from their roster, including Klay Thompson. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets on Thursday seems to be the big marquee matchup. That's two of the top teams, arguably the top 2 teams in the Western Conference. The Nuggets are looking to kind of get back on track. I agree with Tay, as he said earlier, about putting the Lakers on opening day and opening night. And, the Lakers are going to have, I believe, another televised game on Friday against the Phoenix Suns. They're hosting that game. The Pacers and the Knicks also going against each other. The Timberwolves and the Kings also on Thursday. So the slate for the first week, if you are a sports bettor and you are very heavy into this whole concept of sports betting, you might want to look at some money lines. You might want to look at some props. You might want to look at I don't know what the spread is going to look like for some of these games, but you might want to look for some of the spreads as well. But not to get too sidetracked off of this. Today was extension day. As we're recording this, it was a extension deadline for a lot of players. A lot of players got their extensions. Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, a number of players got extensions. Moses Moody signed his extension. Tay, did any of these extensions surprise you? I think Jaden Hardy also signed a 3-year, $18 million extension as well. But a lot of these players signed an extension. Did any extension surprise you? Do you think somebody took less than they should have got, or do you think anybody was overpaid? What was your takes on some of these extensions?
I'll say I was surprised about the amount Jalen Green got. I thought Jalen Green was going to get more than that, but I guess he took a team. I don't know. I thought Jalen Green. I don't know if he's worth more than that, but I thought he would get more than that. And Trey Murphy too. I thought Trey Murphy would get more than what he got. I thought he would at least get like, I don't know. I can't put a number on it, but I was a little like, I was surprised when I saw Trey Murphy and Jalen Green's contract. I thought they took a little less than what they're worth. But outside of that, I agree with everything else. Like, there wasn't any contracts that were like, wow. But those were the two I think they took. They didn't take. They should have got more money.
It's a far cry from, I want to say, was it 16, 2017 when like Timothy Mozgov was getting contracts and he was getting like 120 mil for nothing. Like it seems like things have balanced out a little bit. Lee, what you think, man? What did you think about these extensions? Any particular one catch your eye that was like raised the eyebrow a little bit, or you agree with everything you saw?
I agree that the timing of Jalen Green's extension is what got me. Like they took the final deadline of those extensions to sign him, but the one that surprised me is the one who didn't get an extension was Alperen Şengün. If he already didn't get an extension, that's what surprised me is that Şengün, I think he's the best player on the team
He
for
got it.
Houston. He
Yeah,
got his.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, that's what surprised me is that Green got his extension right on deadline day, but Suggs he deserved his for his improved play from his rookie year to last season. But no, nothing really surprised me. Trey Murphy, he deserved his extension. Yeah, nothing surprised me today.
Apollo, what you think, man? Any extensions or lack of extensions catch your eye?
Well, I'll be honest. I think all the extensions were very smart. I mean, Trey Murphy. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't get a little more, but we got to realize the middle class in the NBA is pretty damn rich. So, these guys who may not deserve, or like in years past, who we may think may not deserve that kind of money. I mean, that's a bargain for them. So especially with the TV deals. So, that was good. Jalen Green, yeah, I thought he was going to get a little more, but I mean, for them to extend Sengun, I mean, that was very essential. And he has a player option in I think year 2029, 2030. Jalen Suggs, yes, he earned his. But I want to say it was good for the Detroit Pistons to extend those young guys. Ivy and Duran and Asar Thompson and even Marcus Sasser. Those guys, especially Ivy, I believe, is going to be a very key cog into JB Bickerstaff's new scheme, and it's kind of be similar to what he did with Darius Garland back in Cleveland. Like he wants the facilitator to push the pace, push the ball up the floor. Ivy is going to be an important cog in that, and him and Cade do it anyway. So it's just gonna kind of bolster things a little more. Duran, I think Duran is an ascending player. I mean, he has the size and the physical ability, the physical traits to ascend. And Asar Thompson, even though he's hurt right now, I believe that he is a very good defensive player, and I believe that Detroit values that. So it's really good to extend this kid, and hopefully he can develop his offensive game, but I believe he has the skills to do it. He has the framework to do it. So, I mean, I just think that was an all around good move for them. And we can't dismiss Aaron Gordon, NBA champion Aaron Gordon. He got his deal too. So I mean, I think it was pretty good value extension. Nothing that wows you, but I mean, hey.
The one name that I saw some people talking about, and I got several texts about it, just because it's a Golden State Warriors base, was Jonathan Kuminga's lack of an extension, which that did not surprise me because I know he wants much bigger money than what, say, a Moses Moody got. I think he wants what maybe a Trey Murphy got, maybe a Jalen Green. I don't think the Warriors feel like he is worth that amount just yet. And I think he needs that little chip on the shoulder to go out there and play better. That's the only thing that caught my eye was people talking about that. But I think most of the extensions made sense. If I'm not mistaken, Jalen Green's extension was it 2+1? I think I saw they said it was a 2+1, which very very different from what I was reading. But all in all, I think the most extensions that got done were definitely needed for the teams that these guys are on. But we are looking at an interesting season right now, and with everything playing out the way it's played out, do you guys have 3 teams that you're looking out for that aren't necessarily at the top of your list for like being the best, but 3 teams that you could see as like sleepers? Then that's 3 over each conference. It could be in either conference. Tay, what you got?
I like the Kings this year. I like them and DeMar DeRozan. I know the defense is gonna suck, but the offense isn't. So I think that it'll be pretty fun to watch on just in general. Like I think the Kings energy will come back. I like the beam like that year. I think that'll come back. I think the Kings are gonna be very exciting. Then like the Pelicans, especially if Brandon Ingram doesn't go anywhere. I really do like the Pelicans. I'm gonna see how this Herb Jones at center thing goes too. Like, I was interested in that. Like, yeah, he's small. Like, he's 6'7", but he's small. Centers back him down. Like, I want to see how that goes. Like, that's the only thing I was thinking. Like, he's a great defender though. Like, he has the instincts to do it, but does he have the physicals to do that? Probably not. But like I said, I want to see it. See how that goes. Their starting 5 sounds pretty good. And for my last team, I don't really think I have a third team, honestly. I think you at the top or you're all the way at the bottom. There's no other team that I'm necessarily interested in. Like, I like the Pelicans and the Kings. But yeah, I don't have a third team. I can't really. Everyone, especially in the East, it's either you're real good or you're real bad. Yeah, so I'll stick with my 2 teams. Yeah, but I cannot give you a third team.
Lee, what you got, Lee? Who you got any teams that you looking out for that maybe not a top 2, top 3 seed, but a team to keep your eyes on?
Hey, I already got 2 of my teams out west, the Pelicans and Kings. For the Pelicans, the whole key is still Zion, and whether he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, I feel like they can make a run, but he's got to stay healthy. Sacramento, I do like that move with DeMar DeRozan. You still have Monk, Fox, and Sabonis, who always flies under the radar. And like what Tay said, not much defense is going to be played, but they will try to outscore people like they did a couple years ago. But as far as the third team goes, I'm not sure if I can. You know what? It might have to be Denver. I think Denver's going to have to be my third team because they've lost some key pieces these last couple off seasons. Adding adding Russell Westbrook will make or break the season. And
Yeah.
and uh, if uh, if Russ can play winning basketball with Jokic, they might make a run at another title again. But if not, might be a first or second round exit for the Nuggets. So that'll be my third team, Denver.
And Paulo, you got any teams to watch out for? Any sleepers? Any middle of the road teams?
Yeah, the Kings were definitely my number one sleeper. I like the addition of DeMar DeRozan. And you know what? When you think about it, it adds another layer of scoring, not just standard scoring. I mean, it's giving you different looks. And you know what they say about playoff and whatever sport, styles make fights. Even in boxing, styles make fights. So if you can give a team, your opponent, different looks or different shades, and you can hit it off scoring on the perimeter or the mid range or inside, like you got all that covered, floor spacing and all that stuff covered. Yes, the defense is going to suffer a little bit, but I believe that Keon Ellis, the
Yes,
kid that they had last year, he's a really good defender. Actually, he was actually their best defender. Him and Harrison Barnes was last year. And of course, that's not saying a lot, but I'm just saying he like individually is a good defender. And their rookie, Devin Carter. I mean, everybody heard me rave about him all over the season and over the summer. I mean, so I'm really amped for that kid, and he is a all around player. He has the grit. He can play on defense. He can score. He can score in the mid range or the perimeter. He can attack the basket. However, he may be a little undersized, but hey, I mean, I guess that's where they want. I guess that's how they want the team to fit. I mean, you do have size with Sabonis and but Keegan Murray. So I mean, I really think they're gonna be good, and I like the other rookies that they added: Isaac Jones, Isaiah Crawford. These are guys with size. Um, I mean, hey, I just think that's going to be a benefit for them in the long run. My other team, I'll say the God, yeah, I guess the uh the the Bulls. I mean, I like the Bulls. I think they could be sneaking up on some people. Um, I'm really excited for that kid Buzelis that they got because I think he adds another dimension to a somewhat stagnant type of offense. Um, I mean, and hey, they might be getting Lonzo. Well, not might be. They're definitely getting Lonzo back. So we'll see where he's at after 2.5 years of basically missing action. So and also I think the Bulls, the Bulls are going to want to showcase Zach LaVine being healthy and being the scorer that he is. I think they want to showcase him for a trade chip maybe. So because they got a few aspirable contracts, and then Kobe Jones and Dosunmu, they had career years last year, so they showed that they can step up and provide more depth. And they got Giddy now. I mean, he's another playmaker, another on ball creator that they need or could use. And I think maybe my third team, um, I'll say the Jazz. Um, Kyle Filipowski,
oh,
for as weird as his story is, he's a pretty good player. He offers a pretty good skill set. I mean, he can score on all three levels. He has the size. He can go down low and rebound. Um, and I like Isaiah Collier, the other guy that they added. He's like a little pit bull. He goes 100 miles per hour. He can attack the basket, shoot off the dribble. He was the standout from USC last year when Bronny was out. Isaiah Collier was carrying him and Boogie Ellis. So
You sure it was?
and then you got of course marketing. Marketing's ascension. I still think that they're retooling, that they're going to put people out there for trade bait as well, especially Colin Sexton, guys like that. So I mean they'll still be making moves, but I think they are a sleeper because I think they have a nice little core.
It's funny because you mentioned the Bulls, and the Bulls are going to be one of my picks, but I think that the Eastern Conference, there's so many teams that kind of get talked about. I think the top of the order is like, Celtics, the Knicks, the 76ers, the Bucks. That sometimes, both the Orlando Magic and I think the Indiana Pacers, who just made the Eastern Conference Finals. I know haven't seen a lot of people speaking extremely favorably about the Pacers heading into this season. I don't know if that's just people thought it was a fluke run. People thought if the Knicks were healthy, that the Knicks could have, would have beat them. I don't know what the case is. I've heard a lot of people say that the Pacers, now that they're, going against, they might have to go against some of these teams healthy again in the Eastern Conference, that it won't be, I guess, as easy as it seemed for them. But I personally believe that the Pacers are going to be a really good team this year. They were a really good team last year, so I'm excited to see what they do with kind of Halliburton leading the way and Siakam. Orlando Magic was my other pick because they just extended Jalen Suggs. I mean, they got Franz Wagner signed a big deal this summer, so they got their pieces and they got their core pieces kind of in place. And I think that building around Paolo is kind of what the focus is for them. So I see the Magic as another team to kind of keep my eye on. I don't know if they're like a fourth, fifth, sixth seed, because some people are considering, obviously, the Cleveland Cavaliers is another team to look out for. I've heard some people say that Toronto Raptors are going to have an ascension this year. Don't know how about that one. In terms of the Western Conference, you picked Jazz. It wouldn't be me if I didn't put a little bit of Golden State delusion in the air. So I'm gonna say I think people. They went 6-0 in the preseason. They look like themselves without Clay on the floor taking them bad, ill-advised shots. And also their defense, once again, it's preseason. Obviously, you can't put too much stock into the preseason, but I think based on what I saw, Moses Moody looked like he's ready to take a jump. Kuminga looked like he's ready to continue his jump. DeAnthony Melton looks like he's going to be a good fit. Looks like, Buddy Hield was the best three-point shooter in preseason. Obviously, that doesn't always translate to the regular season, but if Buddy Hield can find that and be a solid six-man, if Andrew Wiggins can find something, all these things are dependent on if. But but a lot of ifs. But I feel like Steph Curry is your leader. He is in that LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan realm, where if he's on your team, I feel like you got a chance to at least make the playoffs, and those are the guys that, but
Mm-hmm.
whether they win championships, that's a different story. But once again, if you got Steph Curry on your team, anything is possible. So I'm gonna go with the Warriors as my third pick. But real quick, last thing I want to touch on. Obviously, we got long season ahead of us, but as always with a long season, you can kind of get an idea. And if you are on FanDuel and DraftKings, they allow you to do what they call futures. And wanted to kind of segue into some futures and look at who do we have for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring champion. Don't want to go into Rookie of the Year because Rookie of the Year is something that's, I don't think there's any clear-cut favorite right now for Rookie of the Year. I could be wrong, but I don't feel like there's any, this is not like a Wemby situation where you're going and you already kind of know, or Ja and Zion, where you're looking at two guys that you already know could be competing for it. But yeah, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring champion. Won't get into all NBA just yet, and All Star because we obviously got to see how people's health kind of play out. But early awards picks. Tay, who you think in these awards? Who you looking for?
I'm gonna start off with Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm gonna give it to the best defender in NBA
Oh
history,
my God, no!
OG Anunoby. I think it's about time a
Really?
week gets it, and like I said, best defender in NBA history. So yeah, that's gonna be my pick because he could have won last year, but he got hurt. He was pretty high on the. I think he was third at one point in the season, but he got hurt. So I expect him to be healthy this year, and that is my DPOY pick. And my scoring champ and MVP are the same. That's why I did DPOY first, and I'm going with Luka. It's about time Luka wins one. I mean, he averaged 33, 9, and 9. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, though, I think he'll be a lot. He'll be talked about a lot more when it comes to the MVP this year. Like, there was some, small remarks about it last year, but this year, I think Luka he'll be with whoever the other person is. Like, it's always a 2-man race. And I think Luka would he's finally made his way in it this season. So yeah, I'm going with Luka for scoring champ and MVP, and OG for DPOY.
So Lee, who you got, man?
For DPOY, it's Wemby. Wemby should have won it last year, but uh, uh, scoring champ. I want to say Shea. I want to go with Shea. Shea Gilgeous Alexander, because he had the most 30-point games in the league, but I think he could take like one more jump and lead the league in scoring. That's my pick. And what else? What
MVP, the other one.
MVP? Uh, MVP, I would go with Luka. I'll go with Luka
Okay.
for MVP. Yeah, if I know he's like projected to win the last couple of years, but I think this year and maybe next year is like the window for him to actually win the award. Because if not, I don't think he'll ever get it. So those are my picks. Schaefer scoring champ, NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and Luka for MVP.
Okay. Apollo, who you got?
Well, this is not going to be entertaining. I have the same as Lee. Luka MVP, and Wemby, defensive player of the year. I mean, scoring champ. I mean, the Luka. So, yeah, not exciting radio, but
Well, I'm gonna try to deviate a little bit from everybody here with my picks.
better not say it.
You know who I want to say is the MVP, but I'm not. I'm not gonna say it because I already gave them props as my sleeper team, so I'm not going Wardell as MVP because I don't think I'm winning enough damn games next to no damn Buddy Hill and slow mo. But but I'm a challenge on that Luka MVP because I don't think he win enough games next to Klay Thompson. That's right. Yeah. No, I said no.
Yeah, no, you're real. Cause you know why? Because Najee Marshall might start and deserves to start over him.
Oh, you're not wrong on that, but The reason why is Klay Thompson is carrying a black cloud around him, and I think when I saw him in preseason, he looked horrible. He's doing the same exact thing he did in Golden State. I don't know, and Jason Kidd will sit your ass down if you breaking them damn shots. But I was like, nah, I can't see Luka. I don't know. Like I feel like if everything aligns the right way, this is probably Luka's year to get it. You know how like the voters, they tend to like. I think that year Jokic won when he was 6 seed. It was like if they want you to get it, they'll find a way to make sure you're right there in the kind of the thick of it. So I'm gonna jump out, and I'm gonna say Anthony Edwards for MVP. Just because I think, yeah, he's got DiVincenzo, he got Julius Randle, but I mean he also has Julius Randle. So if he's able to get 55, 60 wins, maybe go for the first or second seed. I mean Anthony Edwards is gonna have to be the obviously that best player. It's his franchise now, and I think you're giving him the franchise. And I'm really big on the Timberwolves this year, just because I like the depth. I like then they have a little more versatility and some more shooting when they bring in DiVincenzo, who is like one of the best shooters now in the entire league. Scoring champion, I'm gonna go SGA. Honestly, SGA was going to be my MVP pick, but as I thought about it, I'm like, I think just the Wolves. I think their defense is going to be just a little bit stronger, and it was really damn good last year, so I think they'll be even stronger this year. DiVincenzo is a decent defender. Julius Randle's not necessarily a great defender, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's who I'll go with is Anthony Edwards for MVP, SGA for scoring champ. Did I choose defensive player of the year? I don't think I chose that yet. I'm gonna say I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna agree with Tay. I'm gonna agree with Tay on this one.
OG.
I think a wing deserves it, and I think OG won't need to go out there and score and do all that. And I think look, Wemby more than likely is gonna get it. Let's just be clear. Wemby's probably gonna get it just because Wemby got to win something, right? Wemby has to win something. We know them niggas is not winning no championship this year. So all Wemby got to do is keep getting them blocks, you know what I'm saying, and just locking everybody down, being the tallest nigga on the court. And I think they're gonna give it to him. So I think if the Knicks are as good as they're being advertised, OG is gonna be right there with him, because I don't see Mikal Bridges being the defender that he once was, but I do think he'll be better than he was. Because the nigga was in Brooklyn, he ain't really care. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really care in Brooklyn. They were like they gonna win shit. So I think now he's going to try a little harder, but I think it's going to look better with OG out there. And I think OG just is, he is, I'm not going to go as far as obviously Tay and say he's the greatest defender to ever live in existence in history, but he is a top tier defender, and he is a top tier defender of, in this league. So I would like to see somebody else win it outside of the other greatest defender of all time that Tay likes to build up, which is Rudy Gobert. If I had to choose, if I had a gun to my head and they said, if you got to choose between these two people to win Defensive Player of the Year, would you rather have Rudy Gobert or OG Anunoby? I'm gonna go OG every time. So OG, Ant, and SGA, those are my picks. But that being said, in terms of picking, y'all should pick DAR Sports and Media as your premier source for anything sports and media. We have a ton of content right now on the Medium site right now. Shout out to Poetic Scholar, aka my brother Nicholas Monroe. He just dropped the Samantha Irvine article, which is doing crazy numbers. He also had Jada Parker article, which did massive numbers. We got NBA articles up. There's a baseball article coming soon. There's film articles. There are sports, all sports articles, pretty much. Football. We got our weekly rankings. You'll be on the lookout for the Week 8 rankings and a couple of opinion-based articles coming there. I'm I mean, obviously, we will be back with our NFL show here on the YouTube and the college football and probably a week in wrestling this week. Very busy week, as well as the HS True God Shaka's Apollo album that is out right now. Time is of the essence. Make sure you check out BS2, the Ultimate Edition, Before the Revival 2, Soul Revival 6 on November 11th. Paulo, I know you got another joint you putting together. We just right now it's just the team is just rolling right now. Shout out to Tev, my guy Tevin. Also, he has a Eastern Conference and Western Conference preview on the Medium site, so make sure y'all check that out. But as you can see, in the words of our dear brother Eric, the world of DAR never stops. Hey, Eric, if you can hear, cut this shit off, motherfucker. Cut this off. Cut us off. We done. Everybody just leave. Like, niggas just leave. And that way, you know, we cut the shit off. Everybody just leave. Like, yeah, we out. That's it.